Hi guys, this is Lisa. I'm so happy to be back with another YouTube video. I had to take a little bit of a break because I worked on an online course, which I'm so happy I partnered with Insight Timer. The link is below and I can talk a little bit more about it, but I really want to get into the yoga practice for today. So I'm going to begin a beginner's alignment series because a lot of the new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing, asked me to kind of play around with a beginner series, and a lot of friends and family have been asking me to play around with a beginner series. So this is your beginner's alignment series. Whether you're an advanced practitioner and you wish to work a little bit more on your alignment, or you're just starting yoga for the first time, these videos are for you. Today we're going to focus on lower body and lower back practice. So if you are suffering from any sort of lower back pain, this is perfect for you, but this also gets into the hips as well as the hamstrings. All right, so let's go ahead and begin with our meditation. Come into a comfortable seated position. Grounding down through the sit bones, rising through the crown of the head, and coming to close the eyes. Maybe the palms are facing down or up. And you may find that this seated position isn't comfortable for you. So again, any seated position. Maybe you're sitting with the legs out, or maybe you're sitting with one leg bent, or maybe you're sitting kind of with the soles of the feet together. But find your comfortable seated position, your pose within a pose. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, close the eyes and just take a moment and focus on how you feel today. Notice your breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Let the day go. Let all your worries, cares, and fears go. Specifically if it comes to yoga, don't allow yourself to get too wrapped up in the thoughts of the mind. Just allow yourself to come deeper into the breath. And when you're absolutely ready, begin to set an intention for yourself for this practice. It could be absolutely anything, like, I hope to have an open mind this practice. Or it could be as simple as, I hope to do my best and accept where I am today. So whatever that intention is, go ahead and set it. And let's open the practice with one loud Om. Take a nice big deep inhale for Om. And go ahead and gently float the eyes open. Beautiful, guys. So let's go ahead and come onto our hands and knees. We're starting on our back for today's practice. Again, we're getting into the hamstrings, we're getting into the hips, but it's because the hamstrings and the hips and the lower back are all connected. It's like this one anatomical web of muscles. So that's why I wanted to get into the hips and the hamstrings today. So go ahead, hug the right knee in towards the chest. And all we're gonna do is begin to trace circles with that right knee opening up in the hip. And then we'll take it into the opposite direction. So if you're a beginner, you may be thinking to yourself, what's the point of meditation? The first time you do it, you don't really see a lot of benefit. And then go ahead, take your knee into the opposite direction again. But as you start to practice, you notice that will help with your stress levels. You'll begin to think a little bit more before you react. You'll be able to take one day at a time. And when you're ready, one more circle to the opposite side. And then go ahead, send the right knee over to the left side. Keep
that left hip grounded. Keep that right shoulder as grounded as possible. It doesn't matter if the right knee comes all the way over. Keep the knee in alignment with the hip, opening up in the heart space. Taking a nice big deep inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale. Perfect. Go ahead, draw the right knee back in, hug it in towards the chest. And release that right leg on down, taking it into the opposite side, hugging the left knee on in, flexing the feet to protect the knee, and just to practice flexing the feet to protect the knees. And then go ahead, open up the hips, tracing circles, feeling that nice hip mobility. You may hear a snap, crackle, pop, and that's completely normal and okay as long as there's no pain. And then go ahead, slowly send the knee inward. And when I say pain, I mean a sensation that your body's almost like stop. That's what I want you to avoid throughout your practice. But if it's this stretching kind of sensation, it's not really pain, it's just a sensation that kind of is lengthening in a line, then that is a little bit healthier and better. All right, let's go ahead, send the left knee over to the right side, opening up in that left hip. Notice my knee doesn't go all the way down, and that's okay. Your knee might be higher. Yoga is about accepting where you are. It's not about being perfect. It's not a perfection class, it's a practice. Take a nice big deep inhale and exhale. Perfect. From here, go ahead, draw the knee back in. And I want you to hug both knees into the chest and kind of just give yourself a nice little rock and a roll, tracing circles, moving in any way that feels good for you, giving your lower back a little bit of massage. And then go ahead, roll onto your side and then press on up to your comfortable seated position. We're gonna take 2 forward folds here. So send the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana to get into the hips. This is all about a nice long spine. So ground down through the sit bones, lengthen from tailbone to the crown of the head. Take a nice big deep inhale as you roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, send the forehead on down to the feet, opening up in the hips, feeling a nice lengthening. Inhale, continue to lengthen. Exhale, continue to fold. Chin comes towards the chest. Again, it doesn't matter how low you go. Do not judge yourself. Where do you feel the stretch in the body? Is it the inner thighs? Is it the lower back? Just take a moment to close the eyes and be one with the sensation. And when you're ready, inhale to rise through head, neck, and chest. Excellent. Let's come on to the hands and knees for tabletop position. So you want to make sure that the wrists are directly underneath those shoulders. So nice and open. For those of you who have super tight shoulders, you almost feel like this. I want you to almost turn the index finger forward. And I have super broad shoulders, so that helps with me. Keep a slight bend, or I should say relax the elbows so that they're not hyperextended, that they're nice and relaxed. Knees underneath the hips. Take a nice big deep inhale, send the belly on down. Open up in the heart, roll the gaze forward and up. Exhale, tops of feet come to the floor. Round in the upper back, chin comes towards the chest, press the floor away. Now you can feel yourself grounding down through the fingertips and the base of the knuckles. Inhale, send the belly on down. Roll the gaze forward and up. Exhale, tops of feet to the floor. Round in the upper back, chin comes towards the chest. 2 more times, inhaling. And exhaling. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Excellent. Slowly come back to a nice neutral spine. Drawing the navel on in, we're gonna go ahead and find our first plank posture. Now, you may say my lower back is killing me. So I'm gonna say walk the feet on back. So you're transferring most of the weight into your hands. For those of you who feel comfortable going into plank posture, go ahead, lift the knees up off of the yoga mat for full plank. Find that sit bone heel connection, draw the navel on in, feel that core support, and then press up and back into your downward facing dog. Allowing the feet to open up hips distance apart. Bend the elbows, gaze between the feet, the calf muscles. You may notice again, you're rounding in your downward dog. So if the heels are lifted off the yoga mat, keep bending the knees, send the belly to the tops of the legs, press into the hands and the base of the knuckles, send the heart to the knees, and reach the heels on back. Spread nice and wide through the collarbones and the shoulder blades. Sway the head yes, and sway the head no. Downward dog is great for the lower back as well as the hamstrings. So feel a nice stretch on the hamstrings as you reach the heels on down. Maybe inhale, lift the heels up, and exhale to reach them down. 2 more times, inhaling and exhaling. Last big deep breath in and exhale. Brilliant. From here, go ahead, see if you can inhale the right heel up off the yoga mat. Doesn't have to go too far. And then bend the right knee and see if you could step the right foot in between the hands. I like to take sometimes a hold of the leg and then really help it forward so you get that nice long line. Then release the left knee on down to the yoga mat. Inhale, sweep the fingertips all the way on up in Anjaneyasana. So Anjaneyasana, we're sending the energy of the front foot to the back foot. We are engaging the glute muscles to send the inner thighs in towards one another. We're reaching the hands all the way on up. Just hold with me for 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale. Keep sending the energy of the right foot back as the left foot moves forward. And then release the hands on down to frame the right foot. From here, if you like, you can take a hold of those blocks, and if you don't have blocks, that's okay. We're gonna come into half Hanumanasana. So go ahead, send the left hip over that knee, slowly. See if you can slide that right foot on forward. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, fold, nose to the knee. So again, just like in your Anjaneyasana, keep sending the right foot back as the left hip moves forward. Inhale, lengthen, just like in that forward fold from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Exhale, send the nose a little bit further down. Maybe you don't have your blocks, you're just beginning. So come up high onto the fingertips. Maybe you still can't reach the fingertips to the mat, so maybe come a little bit here. I love this posture. Just imagine that you're engaging the quad, and this is really good to feel yourself engaging that quadricep muscle to protect and support that hamstring. You should feel a nice long line of smooth sensation of stretching. Last big deep inhale. Exhale. All right. From here, go ahead, bend on into that right knee. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee off the yoga mat. All we're gonna do here is walk the hands to the back of the mat, begin to straighten that right leg. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, fold, sending the belly down to the leg, chin towards chest, nose to knee. Maybe you have your blocks, so you're still playing with them. And maybe you don't have blocks. So again, what if my fingers don't touch? Walk the hands up the knee, keep a slight bend, send the belly to the top of the leg. You'll feel a nice stretch here. All right, 2 more breaths. Inhale, exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale. Perfect. From here, step the left foot next to the right foot and come into forward fold, swaying from side to side. Take a hold of opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. Bend the knees, send the belly to the tops of the legs. Just feel that nice stretch. So make sure the feet are hips distance apart. I even have to adjust my own feet from time to time to make sure the toes are in alignment with each other. Release the chin towards the chest and the crown, the head down. Just feel that nice stretch in the back. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath in. And exhale. Release the hands on down. Let's go ahead and take it into the opposite side. So this time, step that right foot on back. Bring the right knee down to the yoga mat, a little bit of an easier transition for some. Send that knee over the ankle. Hug the inner thighs in towards each other. Sweep the fingertips forward and up, opening up in the heart space. Take a nice big deep inhale. And exhale, lengthening from the tailbone all the way to the fingertips, hugging the inner thighs in towards one another. For some of us, maybe we want to play around with bringing the top of that right foot to the floor to get a nice stretch on the top of the foot. Again, keep sending the hips forward and down. Keep squaring the hips to the front of the mat. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale. Release the hands on down. Take a hold of the blocks. Come up onto the left heel of the foot. Wiggle, slide the left foot on forward. Curl the right toes under. Make sure the hip is over the knee. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to fold, flexing the left toes up towards the ceiling, nose towards the knee or the shin. Keep the hips nice and square. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale. Great job. All right, slide the ankle underneath the knee. And then from here, go ahead, lift the right knee up off the yoga mat. Then see if you can begin to straighten. Find your pose within the pose. Maybe it's the hands onto the knee. Maybe it's up on fingertips on blocks. Maybe we're coming a little bit further on down, removing the blocks. So it's up to you. Where you feel good is where you need to stay. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold, nose to the knee. 2 more breaths. Stay with me. Inhale. Exhale. Keep sending the energy of the left foot back as the right foot moves forward. Last big deep breath in. Exhale, really fold over. Perfect. And then go ahead, step the right foot to meet the left. This time, bringing the feet mat distance apart. So heel toeing them as far as the mat. And then go ahead, bend the knees, really bend the knees so you can release the lower back. Really bend them even if it feels awkward. And then chin comes towards the chest and release. And then from here, see if you can press into the feet and begin to micro straighten the knees or send the knees, I should say, up towards the hips, sending the sit bones nice and high. Notice when I press into the feet and lift the hips, my bum comes a little bit higher up, or the sit bones come a little bit higher up. And you can add some traction, taking a hold of opposite elbows maybe. Keep bending those knees, but also keep sending the knees towards the hips. Last big deep inhale. Exhale. And release the hands on down. Heel toe them a little bit closer in, just a little, so that they're behind the wrists. Keep bending the knees, and this time you should feel the stretch in the back of the legs, but in a completely different area. So now we're noticing what stretching sensation may feel like, and you may feel it on the lower back. And just continue to breathe on into it. And then slowly walk them in a little bit less than hips distance apart, a little bit closer together. Bend the knees, have the belly rest on the legs, chin comes towards the chest. Keep sending the sit bones up as you send the hands on down, or maybe take a hold of opposite elbows. And if elbows don't work, it could always be wrists to create more space for the shoulders. And then walk the feet all the way close together. Last 2 breaths with me. Inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath and keep that belly, top of the leg connection. And exhale, go ahead, release. Brilliant job. Step the left foot on back, step the right foot on back, and then come on to the knees. Slowly bend the elbows. Lower the heart in between the hands, and then come to rest onto the belly. That's just the first part of your vinyasa sequence that you'll learn more in the future. But for now, we're just gonna do that part one step at a time. So go ahead, take a hold of the top of the foot. If it's accessible, for some of you, you're like, that's a lot. In which case, I just want you to bend the right knee and then send the heel of the foot towards the glute muscle, feeling a nice stretch. And then see if you can eventually take a hold of the pant leg or ankle, but just keep reaching towards that foot, feeling that activation, because eventually you will need that strength to send the top of the foot into the hem. Keep inhaling, guiding the heel towards the glute muscle. Exhale, getting a nice stretch in the quad. Last 2 breaths, inhale. Exhale. And when you're ready, release the top of the foot on down. Take it into the opposite side, maybe reaching, staying here, or taking a hold of the top of the foot. 2 more breaths, inhale, exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale, release the foot. When you're ready, bring the hands to frame the heart. And go ahead, press up and back into your child's pose. So bring the knees as wide as the yoga mat, send the big toes together, wide like a child's pose, my favorite type of child's pose. Send the heart in between the hands, send the forehead on down, sway and rock from side to side. This is also great for lower back. Release, keep sending the glute muscles towards the heels of the feet. Walk the hands all the way over to the right, feel a nice stretch on the left side of the body. Inhale and exhale. And then walk the hands all the way over to the left. Feel a nice stretch on the right side of the body. Inhale and exhale. And then go ahead, slowly come onto sit. Last few moves before we close the practice. See if we can go ahead, straighten these legs, flex the toes up towards the ceiling. And then maybe begin to walk the hands forward until you can't walk them anymore. If this is too much on the hamstrings, you feel like you're rounding, you feel like you're like this, walk it back a little bit and then send the belly to the tops of the legs. If that is still too much for you, bend the knees and then maybe see if you can, I don't actually want you to take a hold of anything, but just release the hands down towards the yoga mat. And just stay here for 2 breaths with me. I know for me, I'm used to taking a hold, but because we're starting out, we're used to kind of almost forcing ourselves into the pose. I don't want you to force, I want you to feel. Just release, chin towards the chest. Last 2 breaths, inhale and exhale. Maybe you find yourself going a little bit deeper with every inhale and every exhale. And when you are ready, slowly come to rise to sit. Bend on into the knees, lower all the way down onto the back. Last time getting in, or last pose, getting into the hips. Hug the right knee on in, send the side of the right foot onto the left knee, and then draw the left knee in towards the heart space, interlacing fingers underneath the knee. Two more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead. Release. Extend the right heel up towards the ceiling and release the right foot on down. Opposite side, send the left knee over, or I should say left side of the foot over the knee. Draw the knee on in, interlacing fingers underneath the knee. So the left hand goes in between the right and the left leg. Flexing the feet to protect the knees, so point, relaxed, flexed. Two more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale, release that right foot on down. And then extend the left heel on up and release it on down. Hug the knees on in. Send the bottoms of the feet up towards the ceiling. Rock from side to side. Maybe you could take a hold of behind the knees because that's more accessible. Give yourself a nice little massage. Then a hug. And then release, sending the soles of the feet together, or releasing or straightening the legs. Sometimes there's pinching in the lower back, so you can always send a blanket underneath the knees. You can even roll it up. We are done. Coming into your Savasana, relaxing the lower body, tuning back into your breath. Inhale and exhale. Feeling the jaw relax. Softening the eyes. Feeling the belly rise and fall. And believe it or not, Savasana on a hardwood floor or on a hard surface helps with lower back tension, helps ground you. So this is a great way to seek some lower body relief as well. Take a nice big deep inhale into the belly, breathing in. Exhale, sigh it out. Take a nice big deep inhale into the heart space, breathing in. Exhale, sighing it out. Releasing all muscles, letting go. Do your best to just let the thoughts float by like passing clouds. And give yourself a few more minutes of just breathing and sighing it out. Keeping the body relaxed. When you are ready, you can stay here in Savasana, or you can roll onto your side. And press on up to your comfortable seated position. I thank you for practicing with me today. I thank you for exploring your yoga practice, and whether this was your first practice ever or your millionth. Thank you for taking a moment to just focus on the lower body in alignment with me, taking it one step and one breath
at a time. May there always be peace and love within your thoughts. May there always be peace and love within your words. May there always be peace and love within your heart. Know that you are worthy of all blessings. You are more than enough, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Om Shanti Shanti, peace. Have an amazing rest of your day, night, week, or weekend. Namaste, yogi.